Bora Bora, Bora Bora, Bora Bora.
This is truly paradise. The sea, the sun, the beautiful girls. Welcome to Polynesia. My name is Benny and I'm pleased to present to you in the section of a series known as the Canoe Reports. The canoe reports, since they are done from the Vaimoanatea canoe, are double outrigger canoe on which we have placed a bungalow, which thus can navigate from one island to another in order to offer you magnificent pictures. Today we're in Bora Bora. Allow me to propose an unforgettable trip to you. We'll admire Bora Bora for the shades of its colors which make it a true jewel, the pearl of the Pacific. The biggest stars in Hollywood come here to visit. Ladies, did you know that Bora Bora was a U.S. military base during World War II? According to Michener, the population of Hawaii originated in Bora Bora. So now let's tell you the story of Bora Bora, beginning with its mythology. Then we'll discuss the eruption of this island in the Great Ocean, and finally, we'll give you the whole story about the Polynesian migrations. I'll get back to you just after this history update. From the Vaimoanatea, back to you in the studio. According to the ancients, Ta'aroa is a supreme being, creator of earth and sky. During millions of years, he lived in an egg-shaped shell, spinning through the darkness of infinite space. One day, Ta'aroa cracked open his shell. With the upper half, he formed the dome of the sky, and with the other half of his shell, he designated the area that, in assuming its final form, gave birth to Hawaii. Hawaii is the original name of Raiatea, still called today the Sacred Island. Bora Bora is the first daughter of Raiatea, the first to surge out of the sea. Ta'aroa created the first gods, then filled the oceans with fish and covered the land with trees and animals. Maui asked the all-powerful gods to bring order to the universe. Hina is the first mother on earth. The island of Bora Bora came into being a little less than 5 million years ago. A submarine volcanic eruption burst through the surface of the ocean and gave birth to this rock. With the passing of time, the island began to sink in its own weight into the mantle of the Earth's crust. There remained an outline of its past size, the superb coral barrier that encircles the island and protects it against the incessant assaults of the Pacific Ocean. The extraordinary complex story of the Polynesian migrations deserves special attention. 5 centuries before Christopher Columbus, with neither compass nor sextant, the Maohi navigators were able to set sail from Southeast Asia and conquer and populate the immense maritime surface delimited by Easter Island to the southeast, New Zealand to the southwest, and Hawaii to the north. These intrepid seamen reigned over the largest realm on earth, the ocean. In the wake of all of these canoes, oral tradition tells us one of them sailed from Bora Bora one day, on course to the north and with about 50 men aboard. At the end of a long voyage, they discovered an exceptionally large volcanic archipelago. They named its largest island Hawaii in honor of the mythical Raiatea, previously called Hawaii. This brief historical review permits a better comprehension of the cultural importance held by the canoe even today for the Polynesian. That it be of simple construction, useful for fishing in the lagoon or gracefully shaped for racing, these va'a, as they are called in Tahitian, have become once again the primary equipment for the young Polynesians' favorite sport. The most spectacular of outrigger canoe races are those that take place on the high seas, such as the celebrated Hawaii Nui Va'a, whose exciting finish takes place in the superb Matira Bay. Among the 118 islands that comprise French Polynesia, Bora Bora, discovered by Captain Cook in 1777, is the only one where one can still see and admire the traditional sailing canoes skimming across a broad lagoon. These canoes, with their majestic sweep of line, are the unchanged vestiges of an ancient era. The hull, carved from a single tree trunk, is shaped to slide over the waves at high speed. The slender sail reaches into the sky like a bird's wing. The mast and rigging are the ingenious conceptions of a great seafaring people. Aren't these sailing canoes on the lagoon magnificent? Do you know why Bora Bora is known throughout the world? Let's go back to the major role Bora Bora played during World War II. On December 7, 1941, the Japanese Navy bombed Pearl Harbor. A large part of the American fleet was destroyed. Like a giant shock wave, the effect of the Japanese attack created repercussions throughout the world. Finally, the Americans felt themselves concerned by the conflict that had struck Europe. To stop the Japanese advance in the South Pacific, the Americans needed to establish a rear echelon base as a supply point for their fleet. This base needed to provide an operating radius of 2,700 miles. French Polynesia was ideally situated. With her single passage through the reef and its immense protected lagoon, Bora Bora offered perfect conditions for it. What's more, among the French overseas territories, Tahiti was among the first to support the Free French forces of General de Gaulle from early 1940. Therefore, there were no local opposition to the establishing of this American base in Bora Bora. In February 1942, an agreement was signed between the United States of America and the Free French forces aboard the American cruiser Trenton. Operation Bobcat became a reality. An American wave, a tidal wave, in the eyes of some, swept over Bora Bora as 5,000 GIs landed on the island to build the American base on what they quickly baptized the Pearl of the Pacific. As it happened, no shots were fired at any Japanese by any member of the Bora Bora garrison. The war here appeared to be nothing more than a friendly coexisting relationship between the local population and the American forces, so friendly that in 1946, 175 GI babies were counted on the island. Numerous facilities were erected, among others water catchment systems, artillery emplacements, anti-aircraft batteries were built or installed. The most important construction of all was, of course, the airport, built on the coral base of Motumute. This airport, typical of many built throughout the South Pacific Islands during World War II, remained for nearly 20 years the only link between French Polynesia and the rest of the world. Air travelers from overseas were obliged to deplane on Bora Bora, there to board a flying boat for the trip to Tahiti. The American troops gave Bora Bora a reputation as a terrestrial paradise. Thus, it acquired a capital of affection and admiration to the point where the name Bora Bora is now known throughout the world. And the island continues even today to be the most visited of all Polynesian islands. The arrival at Bora Bora remains pure magic. Thanks to Air Tahiti, the journey from Tahiti takes less than an hour. The airport is located on Mote Mute. Leaving the airport, the visitors have time to discover Bora Bora from the sea as the comfortable shuttle takes the boat across them to the broad lagoon, to the main island, or to their hotel.